Welcome to the Embracing Singleness podcast with your host, my sister, Elder Prophetess Shimika Bowers. The purpose of this podcast is to change the perception of being saved and single from being an obstacle to being a blessing, while embracing our singleness to help build functional relationships as Christ so desires. So again, let's welcome our host, Prophetess Shimika Bowers.
Okay, so we are going to get ready to get started. I have opened up this series for not just the singles. Bishop thought it would be a good idea to open it up to everyone, because what we are getting ready to on this next series, it's kind of continuation of what we've been doing on embracing singles. So if you have been here from the beginning, for the ones that have been here since day one, thank you. I love you, and I hope you are learning something. I hope that you're growing. For this series, I just called it The Highway to Healing. So basically this series, I said it was a 4-week series. Sort of forgot that we only come on here every other week. But actually, I'm recording in my house today. Y'all realize I'm not in the studio today. I just didn't feel like making that hour drive. So I just did, we just recorded from the house. So the ones that are on this call, we are going to, over the next couple weeks, we're going to be looking at the process of healing. How many of us know that when we go to therapy, we pay them good big bucks to tell us where our problem started from, don't we? And it always leads back to who? Our parents. It's always mama and daddy. Mama and daddy has done something typically, and I need y'all to be able to talk back. So if you can unmute yourself, unless you have background noise. So when we're going through therapy, and as I always say, listen, there is nothing wrong. I'm saved. I believe God. I believe in God. I believe in healing, but I also believe on laying on a couch and getting your prescription. If you have something going on chemically imbalance, please, please, please go lay on a couch. I'm not going to judge you. Get you some medicine if that's what it takes for you to be able to cope day to day until you begin to heal. And then once you begin to heal, there are things that will eventually go away. And then some of us have chemical imbalances, and that is okay. That does not make you any less than anyone on this call. It does not mean that you are not qualified for ministry. Please get you a therapist, get you a prescription if that's what you need. This right here, we're going to begin to get to the root. I know that we all have discussed the red flags and things of that nature, but just like when we go to therapy, what I've been told, takes you back to the beginning. Where did the problem come? Where did you pick up this? What? So our parents is always our first hurt. If it's not, somebody please raise their hand and let me know. They are the ones that bring us into this world, and we trust them to guide us, to protect us, to show us where we're going. They show us what's right and what's wrong. So the thing is our hurt always goes back to childhood, and then of course we are hurt throughout our life, but typically the initial hurt is from childhood. And when someone hits that trigger, it becomes a trigger as we get older, and it's a trigger, and then we attack the one that is hurting us, but it's really not them that we're attacking. It is that the pain, that wound, that has been there since whenever mama and daddy hurt you. But how many of us understand on this call that hurt people hurt people?
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of us, we find it hard to forgive our parents. Most of us whether you're a parent yet or going to be a parent, there is going to be a time, trust and believe, that as a parent, we do the very best that we can do. We do the best we can. And so we have to get to a point of where we have to look at our parents as humans too. We look at them as our superheroes when we're little, and then we keep that, we try to hold them to that standard as we get older, and we need to understand that our parents are just like us. They hurt, they grieve, they have pain, they go through things, and a lot of times, and you'll hear me say, I don't believe in generational curses. I just don't. I believe that once you're saved and you've given God your yes, that when you do that, there is no curse over your life anymore. We have generational bad habits. That's what we have. And until someone gets the courage to say, this is not what it should be, then we continue to pass down those traits generation after generation after generation. And then the world tells us it's a curse. Oh, your grandmama was that way, your great grandmama was that way. And that may be true, but it's not a curse. No one has just stopped to slay the giant. So for this series, I'm coming to shake that up. A lot of us, and I know I am one, trust and believe I'm one, that we take mama's words as bond. And a lot of us end up not having that relationship with our dad because we base it off of, in the beginning, of what mama said. Because mama's the one that nurtures us. Mama is the one that is there day and night. So we put mama on this pedestal, like mama don't do no wrong. And truth be told, mama does a lot of wrong. And if we have parents who no one has, and this right here is something that's new, because you didn't hear of this in our parents' young days. Nobody sat down with our parents and said, talk to me. What's hurting you? Like back then, it was get over it, suck it up, move on. It's life. So from this experience, and I know Chandra can speak for us, but both of our parents have passed away. And Chandra and I began this. I actually started the journey first, and I ended up being separated from them for a while. But then it was just like when sis jumped on the journey and was like, "Oh, whoa, like let's do this," and she took her journey a different direction than what I went, but we still ended up in a healed place, or a place of healing. I don't know if we can say we're 100% healed, because I that to each his own. I would like to say that I am healed, because I'm able to say, and I'm able to see when someone's hitting a trigger with me, and I've learned to control my emotions where I'm not reacting off of their action. But we all go through a phase of healing, and each of us will have our own journey. But what I'm hoping to accomplish in this series, how many on here, just by raise of hand, is your parents still here with you? So everyone, okay. So that's a good thing. So what I'm hoping, I see you, Minister Woods. What I'm hoping is that if you have not embraced this journey with them, that you have the time to get what you need. And one of my favorite things I like to say is, I'm going to help heal the one that broke me. So, and I think, and I'm gonna let Chandra speak a little bit, but I think it is very important for us to give, as a child, as an adult child. To me, it gives me a sense of peace to know that yes, I set boundaries with my mom, but we were able to sit down. And one of the memories that I can remember that sticks out with me the most is, if you don't know us, our mom was in ministry, one of the biggest prophets around. She traveled countries to go speak. So she was all about ministry. And I can remember Chandra and I just saying, um, that there was never a time that it was just me, her, mama, and daddy. Like it was always, mom was always, she lived what she preached. So our doors was always open. But one fond memory now that they both have passed is the four of us actually sitting down together, and talking, and there was things that mama didn't know that we went through, and so with us being on this journey of healing, we were able to let her know it's okay, like breathe, we want you to know this, because what you don't want is your parent passing away and now you're sitting here with all these unanswered questions. So the same way, we need a safe place, our parents need that too. And sometimes our parents are just set in their ways, but lucky for blessed. I'm not gonna say lucky. Blessed for Chandra and I. She was able, and she was the hard one for us, because if you know my mama, she didn't play no games, and it was her way or the highway. But that is one memory that sticks out for me, is us being able to stand in our truth and talk to them, and they cry, and we be the soft place to wipe their tears. Um, so we were able to get a lot of stuff off of our chest. Um, and I think our parents passed in peace. I think they passed in peace. So my goal is, I want you to be able, if that is what you desire, I want you to be able to heal, but also be something that your parents may have never had. So let's give them a sense of peace. And I'm not going to tell you it's going to be an easy road, because I don't know nothing about your parents. But uh, now my daddy was one. He when I say, and then let me put this disclaimer out there. When I say my daddy, I'm talking about Claude Bowers, the one who raised me, gave me his name. That is my daddy. But on this series, you're going to hear me talk about bio. I do have a biological dad that created me. Him and my mama got together and did what they did, and now I'm here. But when I say daddy, I am talking about Claude Bowers, the one I am named after. Over this next series, daddy was kind of we're going to dive into how to also forgive your parents when they're not sorry. I would say sometimes they are just so set in their ways. And it's like trying to talk to them. It's just like, it's like the more I talk to you, the more you hate me. The more I talk to you. So what do we do when our parents aren't sorry? We're going to tackle that one. I think it's the next series, but just the foundation, because even when your parents are not sorry, you have to forgive, because it puts you at a standstill. It halters your life right where you're at. Because the issue is, we are, well, me 46, and if I didn't heal, then I'm still operating from the 12-year-old who found out daddy wasn't my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So for me, trying to talk to dad, like, to me it wasn't like, for what? Well, like, what am I like? No matter what I ask you, at age, you're never going to be able to satisfy the 12-year-old little girl. You're never going to be able to give me an answer good enough. So I actually had to go on this healing journey for myself, and I think the regret that I have, I don't think it's really a regret. Well, it is a little regret, because when my daddy passed away, were things that we found out about our dad that broke my heart and made me understand him better. Now, do I think he ever would have told us everything? No. Because what we've learned in our dad's passing is our dad was so humble that it doesn't matter what people said about him. Let their truth be their truth. I'm not going to tell my truth. I'll go to my grave with y'all. I'd rather go to my grave with y'all hating me or disliking me than to mess up the vision of your mother or mess up the vision of the perception that you have because she's dead. So there were things that we were able to find out, and I actually got forgiveness maybe a month before he passed away because finding out the truth, what he thought we couldn't handle, really is what softened my heart to be able to forgive him for my perception of things. We will dive into that because a lot of times we get the story and we take the story as factual based and that's our perception, and we never know why people do the things that they do. We don't know. Outside, it could look like Claire Huxtable family, but behind the scenes, it is something totally different. And then when you able to, for me, when I was able to look at him in a different light of what he had to deal with, I was like, he was the best daddy anybody could have asked for. Did he do everything right? Nope. Was there pain there? Yes. But there was healing in the truth. In forgiving your why is it such a crucial step in your personal growth and self-development? Everybody stumped? Let me give you one. Emotional healing. If you forgive them, you're always going to carry that scar. You're going to always carry that baggage. Always carry resentment, anger, bitterness. And how many of us can really say that we're angry with our parents? We really aren't. Yeah. We're hurt. We're disappointed. Comes across as, but we have to be able to acknowledge where we're at. So that's why I ask, how many on here can say there's something they need to forgive their parent for? If you don't want to share with the group, don't share with the group. But I do need you, because if you're supposed to have your journals, and you want to pick back up on this, write down whether you've ever spoken to them, whether you've ever, what is it? There is something, by the end of this call, I hope that there's one thing that you know that you need to forgive your parent for so that you can work on that step. And by the end of this series, I'm praying and hoping that you get out what you need to get out of so that you and your loved one can heal. Because let's just say this, with the parents that's on here, how many of us feel like there's a truth that if we really told our kids, it would probably break their hearts, so you hold on to it? Anybody? I think for me, once you begin to heal, I'm kind of like Chandra. We were raised so like her story. If you talk, just raised in the same house, I mean your story is the same. My perception is way different than her perception. So I raised my children totally opposite of how my mom raised us. So the thing is why it's important. It's important for emotional healing because if you do not heal emotionally, you will always say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like my mama. I'm not going to be my daddy." And what happens is, if when we don't forgive and when we don't heal, we get to the same place our parents got to. We just took a different route there. and it's the truth. There will come a time, and I know I do it sometimes, and I'll talk to myself because I'd be like, oh, Lord, you were if that I never confronted and healed, then I respond the same way she does, although I took it a different route. You get what I'm saying? So being able to confront, being able to heal that is important for your emotional well-being. Forgiveness also allows individuals to release these negative emotions, find inner peace. Sometimes I just need to tell you what you've done. I don't need you to validate it. I get this off my chest because this is sitting on me like a ton of bricks. This is my perception. I think one of the things that we must understand is when we go to, no matter who you're dealing with, but especially if you're a parent, I think as a parent, one of the big skills I ever had to swallow was I was the source of my children's pain. Daddy not being there, guess he gave me examples prior to ever having them, and I still chose it. So I can't get mad at Daddy because Daddy was who Daddy was before he ever became their dad. And so that's a hard pill to swallow. And so when it comes to us reaching out to parents, that's what we're asking them to swallow. And it will rip your heart out because as parents, we don't want to be the source of our children's pain. We want to kiss their boo-boo. We want to catch them before they fall. We want to jerk their head when they touch the stove. If you're like me, the first time they have a heartbreak, you want to beat the little girl. That's what we do. Our parents are no different. So you have to make sure you let them know that it make you a failure. Does that make sense? And believe it or not, most of our parents operate in some type of insecurity. We all do. We all do. Able to forgive our parents. Also, the second thing is free of the past. You cannot get where God's trying to get you if you keep living in the past. If you keep replaying that wound over and over and over and over again, that's what happens. So for emotional health and breaking from the past, let's do this. If you have not learned the correct way to forgive and you've not learned how to correctly love and to love someone and forgive at the same time, how many of us, and how many of us end up dating what we despise? Yeah. So that's one reason we have to, because I talk about my Bible dad who was never there. He, didn't take care of me. It was, he, absent until I was able to heal from that. What type of men did I attract? Absent, unavailable. I just ended up dating my dad. Yeah. So I got to heal out of that broken place, because what we will do is we will begin to attract the very thing that we despise. Because you've not accountability, number one, of your emotions. Like, this is how I feel, and this is why do I feel that way? Because let's just be honest. If you keep acting the same thing, it ain't the other people. It's you. If you keep attracting liars, guess what? You lie to yourself. If you keep attracting cheaters, guess what? You keep cheating yourself out of happiness. You're cheating yourself. So you are attracting the very thing that you're holding on to, but you don't want. I don't want it, but you keep holding on to it. in the series, hey, I'm gonna be asking hard questions, and I need y'all to be able to journal it, even if you don't want us to know. Write it down, journal it. Your healing is your responsibility. You have to take accountability. You have to take a hold of your healing. Yeah, you'll have a support group. You got a support group here, but you are the ultimate person that holds it, that controls it. Anybody got anything on those two things? Breaking free of the past, giving your parents enables you to break free from the past, let go of the weight of unresolved issues. Let's be honest. Does anyone have an unresolved issue that started in childhood and you're holding on to it today? As siblings, I think with Chandra being on the call, we've all been there. We've all been there. To me, Daddy loved Chandra more. To Chandra, Mama loved me more. But it was not until we realized what their truth was that we then understood. To me, I didn't think either one of my parents loved me more than anything. I thought they were mean and hateful. But they raised me to the best of their ability. But that is something, and I'll go ahead and share like one thing that I still deal with, and I'm getting better. And unfortunately, it took our parents passing for me to be able to take accountability and be able to say, because for me, being able to depend on someone else. I was raised, I don't have anybody to depend on. That's it. I don't have anybody. Your dad's not your dad. Your real dad's never been around. I'm your mom. When I die, that's it. So that's how I was raised, is what I believe. So when I go through things, I have to typically go through them by myself. And I have to acknowledge that I have grown children. I have adult children. It's hard for me to ask them for anything, although they're adults and they live here, but I have to remind myself, you need to ask. It is not your responsibility to carry the full load. And it wasn't until past that I think Chandra and I's relationship really became, I get it. Because when me and her would fight when we was little, Mama would say, your sister's all you got in this world. And I'd be like, I've been true. But now that our parents have passed, she really has become my best friend. So the thing is that is something I still carry from childhood, and there's things that I go through that I feel like I'm all alone, and then just so happens she'll call me, say, hey, this, and then it's a reminder, and then I have to remind myself, you're not alone. You do have a sister that loves you. So that is something that I have to, that is a trigger for me. I have to know that, and know that when I'm going to a place where I feel like I'm all alone and my mama's gone, and because mama's gone, I don't have nobody. I have to pull myself out of that. I have to understand you're headed in a place. You was raised that way. Yeah, you were taught that, but that is wrong. It's not accurate. So that is something that I did, and you have to be honest with yourself and know where you're headed and pull yourself back. And the last, to get into it a little bit, we're down to like 28 minutes. Another reason it's important to forgive your parents for personal growth and self-development, self-reflection, self-awareness. Forgiving your parents, both of these individuals, to examine their own emotions, their own beliefs, their own behaviors. Through the process, that you gain a deep understanding of who you are and your patterns. Because and y'all know these calls are not it is ministry, but I don't throw scriptures at you. We talk real life. We talk real life. We talk how to interrupt the patterns, and there are some things that needs to be interrupted. It needs to be interrupted. For me, as a pattern that I have to and I have to make a conscious decision because I am such a helper because my mom taught you help everybody. How many of us know that I'm healthy?
No.
I do matter. And you're not going to run me down, and I have to stop making excuses. Me, if I love you, that is a thing for me. If I love you, I will make excuses for your bad behavior and why I should continue to hang on. That is something that is not healthy. Minister Shay, I see you. That is something that is not healthy, and I have carried it into adulthood. I've tried to break that cycle with my children because if they don't want to do something, they're gonna tell you no. They don't care who you are. No, I don't feel like it, no. So I have tried to break that cycle where it ended with me. You don't do that, you end up in relationships that become toxic and you won't let go because you're making up an excuse of their bad behavior. No, hurt me. That's all the reason I need. Yeah, you're not gonna keep hurting me. So, but I have to be very aware of that. That I didn't want that cycle to continue in my children, because number one, they're boys and they're men. So I need your no, and don't hang on to toxic relationships that do you. That's a cycle we had to break. I don't know if my mama ever broke it. I think the day she died, she gave you her very last and would go hungry so you could eat. So for me, I have to understand that this cup that the Lord gives me, thing in the cup is for me. Whatever flows over, that's for everybody else. So that's a biggie for me because I will give till it hurts. I will give till the bank account says negative. I will love and cry myself to sleep because you hurt me, but I'm trying to love you. That is a toxic trait that I got from my mom. My mom taught me what love is, and that is inaccurate. It is strength love is for me. Shimika, you're strong. Shimika, you're not emotional. You're able to compartmentalize. These are my strengths, but they're also my weakness because I'm not emotional. So what happens when I compartmentalize and all of it comes back at one time? You can be so strong that nobody understands or able to see you in your weakness. You never let nobody see you weak. So my strength can be my weakness if I balance it out. I think it was I can't remember if I think it was Daddy's death. I think it was Daddy's death. Mama's death. I don't even remember crying. I was just so strong. I worked. I went through it. Nobody had passed away. Like I preached. I went on. There really were no tears. And I think and Chandra processed on her own. But with Dad, she had to know that I am strong, but it's also my weakness. And she had to say, you know, it's okay for you to cry, right? It's okay for you to be sad. And I know I'm fine. And I try to wipe the tears, but you gotta have somebody that you trust to say, this is my strength, but it's not my weakness. And yeah, a lot of it is genetic because if my bio side, they're not criers. They're just not. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But they're not criers. I didn't watch my grandmother bury her last sibling and she didn't drop one tear. And I'm just like, no, you take my sister up out of here. I might get a few tears. Um, but it's the knowing my strength is also my weakness. And there comes a time that when you're so strong, when you break, you really break. And you can find yourself in a dark place. Um, you have to know. And you have to be able to say, yes, I'm strong. I'm not really feeling myself right. And no, when you're headed in that direction. Um, and I'll take a day off from work. Um, because mentally I'm just not there. Was not me before, but now I understand my strength is my weakness. And if you're like me and you run nonstop, when you crash, you won't crash and burn. So I don't want to crash and burn. So now I'm gonna say, listen, this trigger, y'all are starting to get nerves. Is really I'm done for today. This is about, and this is your parents need this too. Your parents need it. Am I saying just to roll over? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. We talk about boundaries over this series, and we have to put boundaries in place with our parents. You have to. No, because there comes a point when you have to say, I am your child, but I am a child. And you're not going to continue to handle me as such. So there come a point where boundaries is, I have to respect you. I'm going to always respect you because that's the way I was raised and that's what the Bible says. And I ain't trying to cut on life short. So for me, the boundaries was I have to separate myself for a while. You can understand what my boundaries are. Um, and respect boundaries that I put in place. Because you are worthy. And it's not just mama's way or no way. It's not just daddy's way or no way. You are an adult. You hurt. Your parents hurt. The thing is for you to be able to. How many on this call, if we could take parents' pain away, we would? I think I would have. And the only way we can help take our parents' pain away is to heal, so that you can love them even in their brokenness. Because our parents, they can be broken. Our parents, like I said, they come from a generation of if you were raised in church, if your mother was saved, then they come from a generation that will handle it. And yes, God will handle it. Vengeance is His, but what do you do in the process? What do? You have to forgive. You have to continue to love. You can't it because you have unforgiveness in your heart. And I'm just one that really believes that until you face what hurt you, you're going to continue to hurt yourself. You're going to continue to hurt yourself. If you can't be honest with daddy and say, I felt abandoned. I felt whatever it was, wherever you were at, you would attract the same energy into your circle and you find yourself with friends that's just like mama or daddy, or a mate that's just mom and daddy. And I want to interrupt that cycle. I want to be able to help you heal. First of all, you need to acknowledge some things that you may not even realize is broken. Because I didn't realize my strength was a weakness for me. I didn't, because my mama taught me what I needed to do to survive without her. So it wasn't until I began to heal, and it's like, because I was taught to be so strong and not depend on anyone. Um, I'm 46 and still unmarried. Because who wants to be with somebody that don't want or need nobody? But that's the phrase. So those are wounds that I have to heal and make a conscious choice that I'm not going to be that person. You know, am I okay being alone? I don't have no deep desire where I go to bed crying every night. I ain't got a husband. I mean, I'm not there. But when I do get old, I hope I got somebody around to talk to. I don't want to be a lady with 12. I mean, I don't even kids. But but the thing is, you have to be aware of what is a weakness, and then you be strong, and then your strength can become your weakness if you are not so present. Overall, I don't think there's anything I actually need to forgive my parents for either. I think I have forgiven them for everything, but there are wounds that I still have, that are there, and it's in my makeup. So I just have to be aware of what that is. I think, the thing I told my mom when we had and I'm gonna end it with this, conversation with just her. I went, and she was talking to me about my bio dad, and trying to explain, her reasoning. Although the reasoning made no sense to me, I remember looking at her and said, "Mom, I blame you for nothing and forgive you for everything." And to me, that we made peace at that point. Like, I don't need you to try to explain it. Like, it all is well. That's where I want us all to get. And I think in that moment, me and my mom made peace with each other. And um, that's where I want all of us to be at the end of this series. Where we acknowledge, yeah, that was a boo-boo that hurt, that hurt me. But I acknowledge that it's there. Because we can't continue to go through life blaming our parents for everything. At some point, put girl pants on, put your guy boxers on, or briefs, whatever you wear. Take accountability for our own life, and we need to be able to make peace, because God chose our parents for a reason. Chose our parents for a reason. I know with me and my Bible, it doesn't matter. Your story doesn't matter. I made peace a long time ago. I pretty much, God, he said, "You in my business," and that's really how I made peace. God said, "You in my business." I needed Charles's DNA and your mama's DNA to create you. Now anything else outside of that is none of your business. That's how I made peace. Sometimes God needs their DNA to make you who you are. And I found peace with that. I don't have sleepless nights or wonder who I am and things of that nature. I kind of made peace, with that. And all this journey of healing, highway to healing, is what this series is called. I'm here to shake it. If there's anything that's causing you to be stagnant, reaching your goals is. If it's marriage, what is, why are you still here? Why are you stagnant? If you desire and keep attracting, well, you never gonna get the king if you keep playing with the circus. So let's figure out what is it with me, that I thought that this is acceptable, and it's not. Whether you're kind of stagnant in ministry, go forward. Whatever is causing your stagnation, we're going to put some WD-40 on it, we'll heal it and get the rust off of it, get it out of us, and move forward. That's all we can do. Minister Shay, we are down to the last. If you would put us out in a word of prayer, and I will see y'all on our next day. Mr. Shay.
Sorry, y'all. It would then be
Yes. Okay. Yep, October 9th, right here. If you have anyone, like I said, I've opened this up to not just singles, but to anyone who feels they needs this.